Hey everyone, this is Mark from Goalkeeper, and you're watching New Rock City.
Hey YouTube, welcome back to New Rock City, the show that brings you in-depth and informative interviews along with some awesome music videos. For those new to the channel, I'm your host Stephen Moths, and I want to let you know that I'm also in the process of turning New Rock City into a music festival. The show that I'm first announcing is a 2-day festival in London, England. There will be 15 bands that represent 4 countries. The 2 days will be July 29th and 30th, 2022. Friday will be 6 p.m. to 11, and Saturday will be 2 p.m. to 11. Tickets are £15 for the 2-day pass. But for today's show, we have Mark from the band The Pizzas. Just kidding. From Goalkeeper. Mark, how you doing, man? Thank you so much for being on the show.
Good man, thank you. What a throwback! I'm happy you remembered that from our conversation. Like way back.
Yeah,
we should
the
bring we should bring that back.
Pizzas reunion.
Yeah, exactly.
The reason why I bring that up is I thought it was a pretty funny story about how you guys actually got together and formed Goalkeeper. Can you tell
Mhm.
that for the viewers?
Yeah, so I mean, just like any band, everyone was in other bands, like in this Philadelphia, South Jersey music scene. And at the time, I was getting really sick and tired of like promoters not like putting like my band at the time on shows. So like me and my old drummer started just hosting shows ourselves, and we would book at various venues in Philadelphia, like the Fire and Voltage Lounge and things like that. So through playing shows and booking shows, I was able to meet Cody and Ryan, who would later join my band. We would form Goalkeeper. And I had a show in July of 2016, and I couldn't find the last band because Ryan's band couldn't play. And me and him were just talking, and I was like, man, I haven't played a show in like 2 years. I'd love to just like create a band. We can open up the show, but we'll just do cover songs and like the most cliche pop punk cover songs you can think of. So like Sugar We're Going Down, Vindicated, Memory, My Friends Over You, like you name it. It was like part of the set. And Ryan was all about it because he wanted to play guitar and sing. And then we just needed a drummer. And our friend Liam, he filled in for bass, but he was in another band. So like that's why he ended up not joining Goalkeeper anyway. And we needed a drummer. So me and Ryan were like, well, we know Cody knows all these songs because he constantly is posting up like drum covers.
Mm.
So we hit him up, and his band was playing the show. So it'd be easy. He would just play our set, take 15-minute break, and then play his set. So, and we ended up doing the show. It was awesome. Had a lot of fun. And then the three of us were talking at like the week after, and Ryan and Cody's bands at the time then broke up. So we're like, well, if we had a lot of fun, why don't we do it together? And then that's it.
That's pretty cool, man. So out of a cover band came a nice successful band. That's pretty cool.
Yep. Yeah, it was awesome. And we were friends first, which made the transition like that much easier. So versus a lot of our old bands where it was like, who knows a bassist, or let's go on Craigslist and do the whole musicians looking for musicians thing.
Gotcha. Now, when I was researching your band, I read that it was actually Cody that does most of all the songwriting. Is that still true?
Him and Ryan split it equally. Yeah.
Wow, that's pretty cool.
So we always say Cody is like the artsy one in the band in the sense that he'll write lyrics and melodies that are very like Midwest emo or like the sad boy era pop punk girlfriend wonder years, because that's like he's younger than us by like 5 years.
Oh, wow.
So that's where his main pop punk influence came from. But me and Ryan being 30 and 31, we grew up more so with Blank and Newfound Glory and all that. So Cody kind of brings this artsy, more complicated songwriting, and then Ryan brings in this really big cheesy songwriting. And so then together they work it out where it's like, okay, Cody, that was really cool, but I don't think someone will necessarily understand how you said it. So here's how we can like simplify it. But
Gotcha.
then he'll go to Ryan and say, hey man, that's like super on the nose, cheesy and kind of lame. Like here's how we can say that a little bit more maturely.
Nice.
Yeah, so they do a lot of that. And then my role with the songwriting is I know I'm the only one in the band who knows musical theory.
Oh,
So
okay.
it's my job to find like the right chord phrasings, the keys of the song, how to stack that stuff, really helping us make like sound really full, which then helps because I'm not a great songwriter in the sense of bringing an idea to the band. I
Gotcha.
could like write a riff, and a lot of times some of our songs will start off that way. Like I'll just be noodling at band practice, and then they'll be like, "Oh, that's really cool. Like let's work on that." That actually happened for a couple songs on this new record. But as far as creating a song from scratch, it's Ryan and Cody will bring the ideas. And for each EP, I feel like Life in Slow Motion, Cody and Ryan split pretty equally. For this new record, I think Cody brought a lot. Not that Ryan didn't by any means. It's just I think Cody was having a lot of inspiration like right out of the gate, and then Ryan, picked it up at the end. So it was it's always kind of cool. And what's nice is both of them don't have any ego.
Oh,
So
nice.
it's not like Cody will bring the song and Ryan will say, "Well, I haven't written. You've written the last 4 songs. Like I want to write a song." It's just more of like,
Gotcha.
is it a good song? Is this going to help the band? Cool, And if anything, they use that as like fuel for themselves. Like Ryan will go home and be like, "Okay, yeah, Cody wrote like 4 really good songs. Like I gotta like step up and bring something to band practice." So
That's awesome. Well, I'm going to jump right into your music. The first video I'm going to play is my personal favorite. What can you tell us about the song and video for Pong Partners?
Cody wrote that song, and Ryan like helped finish the lyrics, and that was like our first. That was like our first attempt at like a professional music video, but still trying to be like goofy and like childish.
Gotcha.
Yeah, and like we had no idea what the hell we were doing like at all. The video's comical. I think some people when they watch it, they're like, "Oh, that's really funny," but like at least for me, it's like, "Ooh, that's like real cringe." Like those Hawaiians did not age well.
And Cody's glasses.
Yeah, but yeah, and we still play that song. We just played that song at our show on Friday night in Baltimore, and the place, so many people love that. So even though it's so old, it holds up really well with the newer material.
Nice.
So that's like something that we were like, all right, well, I guess if we're gonna play like an old song on a regular basis, not in like our hometown, that's the one we usually pull out and put like kind of like right in the middle of the set.
Well, very cool.
Yeah.
So for those at home, here is the video for Pong Partners by Goalkeeper.
You had nothing at all. Light a smoke close to the wall. I bubbled from you and didn't care who saw. 'Cause your eyes were more like anchors. Throw me overboard to sink deeper. All your friends saw what's going on when you asked me to be your partner in pong. And I said, what the hell? I might as well fall in love tonight, baby. She stole a dog and I
welcome back to the show, everyone. That song was taken from your first EP called Gut Feeling. When you look back, what stands out to you about making that EP?
Just the innocence with everything. That's like a super douchey answer. But that EP was literally when we were just not taking ourselves seriously at all. Like our
Gotcha.
first song that we wrote was the Leftover song that Ryan, sang about feeling forgotten about and compared it to like an old hoagie in the back of your fridge. And that was like our whole gist. We wanted to take a really serious concept, but then we wanted to make it like into a really like tongue-in-cheek kind of like, oh, that's really like I can really picture that in my brain, and that really relates well. So like in
Gotcha.
Pong Partners was kind of like the same thing where we all grew up going to college parties. Ryan and I were both in like fraternities, so playing beer pong was always like the catalyst. Like if there was a person you wanted to like flirt with, that's how you did it. You became their
Gotcha.
beer pong partner. So we wanted to write a goofy song about that, but that was actually the one song because it hits like it's everything that a pop song, like what makes a pop song like good. It's the quick intro right to the words, to the catchy chorus, to the shortened like time frame. Excuse me, it's not like a 5-minute song. And so that was the one that actually got a lot of people interested. So
Oh,
even
nice.
though we didn't take ourselves seriously, we weren't playing well live as a band at all, that was a song that would lead to the producers and everything we would get to work with, which is when we sat down with ourselves and said, okay, if this song is getting us these opportunities to play these bigger shows and to sit in the room with these bigger producers, but yet I'll never forget this. We went to work with Nick Bruzzese of Man Overboard for our song Screwdriver. And he talked about how much he loved that song. And that's what he was like, yo, this is like really cool. And I think you guys have something here. But he's like, but I keep thinking you guys are trying to be the Weird Al Yankovic of pop punk. And I swear to God, that'll be the eyes of your band if you don't stop. Wow. And so then we played this one show. I always tell the story. It didn't go well. And that's when we met our buddy Kevin, who would later go on to produce the next like 3 releases for us. That's when we were like, all right, yeah, we have to like take it seriously. So I feel like that EP allowed us just to like learn how to be like write songs as a band. So then when we took the next step to like starting the tour and take our songwriting a lot more seriously and stuff like that, we were at the level with each other and like an interpersonal level where we could do that successfully and not feel like that undertaking would more so like tear us apart like it does with so many bands.
That's really interesting. So your approach to your second EP was a little different then, and one thing that I think is neat is that had some pretty amazing accomplishments. I was looking at the Instagram page for your label, your record label, and they have a post on there that says your song Sunshine has over 1 million streams on Spotify alone. That's amazing, man. Congratulations on that.
Spotify loved that song. I don't know, that stayed on so many editorial playlists for so long, and even to this day it's shooting it consistently to people for like they call it the algorithmic playlist when someone just has their music on shuffle and it just like feeds it to people.
Wow.
So that was the first time, and we were a very positive band. Like you talked to us and saw us in New Jersey, like we are goofballs, we are running around.
Yeah, I met you guys down at the Brad Boozle.
Yep, like some of our song concepts, especially in the later releases, might be a little bit more on the serious side, but we are like a posy pop punk band to the core. Like we just don't know how to be anything else. Like we feel like if we write like a real dark, heavy song, we have to like watch how we do it because it can come across so disingenuous to who we are.
Gotcha.
But that's what that record was.
Well, let me ask you about it because I always think this is pretty interesting. So that song alone got over 1 million streams. When you guys were making that song and you decided to put it on the EP, was there a feeling that, okay, this song is special, or was that a surprise, or what was that like for you guys?
Everyone else thought it was. I hated it.
That's awesome.
I didn't want it to be on the record. I didn't want it to be on the single. I thought people would look at us like we were the biggest works for writing a song that the chorus is literally like, "You're my sunshine on a cloudy day."
That's funny.
And I couldn't have been more wrong. We played some shows in front of some of the people who like, oh, I fuck with 4 Year Strong and Belmont, Heavy, A Day to Remember, like all this stuff, and we play that song. We play that song at Fest like the one place I thought we would get chewed out because I had such a stereotypical mindset to what Fest was with the punk scene. And so many people came up to us like, yo, that song, that's rad.
That's awesome, man. All right, so here's the song that Mark hated, Sunshine by Goalkeeper.
Just stay for a while, for a moment, 'cause I know when I'm with you, I am happy, optimistic. Life's easy to go through, but if you have to, I'll say goodbye till next time. I'll see you when I see you. I'll see you when I see you. You're my sunshine on a cloudy day. When you're not here, I know you're not that far away. The clouds will drift off to the sea, and I'll soon feel you next to me. Like when I'm alone on a dark night, I know that when I feel your light, I'll be alright. I'm holding on the small things, like your photos on my phone. I am hoping to hear from you, to know when you're coming home. I am waiting, been waiting for so long. I'll see you when I see you. I'll see you when I see you. You're my sunshine on a cloudy day. When you're not here, I know you're not that far away. Clouds will drift off to the sea, and I'll soon feel you next to me. Like when I'm alone on a dark night, I know that when I feel your light, I'll be alright. You're my sunshine on a cloudy day. When you're not here, I know you're not that far away. The clouds will drift off to the sea, and I'll soon feel you next to me. Like when I'm alone on a dark night, I know that when I feel your light, I'll be alright.
Welcome back to the show, everyone. In addition to the streams, I want to touch on a couple other milestones. I also read that last year you guys had over 138,000 listeners in 105 countries on Spotify. That's incredible, because I can't even name 100 countries. What is one place that you get listeners from that kind of surprised you?
Well, just in the States alone, it's hysterical that Philadelphia is not our biggest city. It's actually
Oh, no.
actually
Really?
Chicago. Yeah, it's Chicago.
Wow.
Which is hysterical. But we have a lot of listeners in Australia. I think the biggest surprise when we started sending merch to these countries, like when we do a merch drop in, like someone in Australia or UK was buying it. But the weirdest country where it's like, what the hell, was Saudi Arabia.
Wow.
Like genuine, I am a fan of your band. I love it, and I'm from Saudi Arabia. So if you ever come here, you have at least one fan attending your show.
Dude, that has got to be an incredible feeling.
It is, because I don't know. Like I said, this is like our first attempt at being a real band. You know, like like I said earlier, all our other bands were just, you know, kind of, you didn't take it as seriously as you thought, and we're very there's so many learning curves to us. Like if you would have been around from 5 years ago, and so many of our friends who have, we were so bad live. And even when we wrote Bad Times Don't Last and we were playing bigger shows and going on tour, like we were still like we were a lot better, but there was still so much learning to do. Like Cody had to play to a metronome live because he didn't realize how inconsistent he was being with like his
Oh, wow,
tempo.
he used those live. Wow.
Yeah, yep. So now, like, yeah, so now, and even like when you saw us, like we messed up our song "Happy" horribly. So for us, seeing these milestones and just like kind of being talked down to by like other bands and not taken seriously, and sometimes some people looking at us like a joke or the constant like, no, we're not doing this, we're not doing that. Then when we see those milestones, we see hear those people reach out to us, and we go on a little weekender in some place we've never been, and there's 30 kids there waiting for us. It's like, yo, this is incredible. Like that's like what fuels you to keep going and wanting to be better every time.
So we kind of touched on the milestones, and I'm just curious, is there one that is particularly meaningful to you, or which one stands out the most to you?
Ooh, when is this gonna air?
In the next couple days.
Okay, so I can't announce what we just got,
Okay.
but it's huge for us. So as far as shows go, we played with Bowling for Soup last September,
Oh wow.
and we got that because our friend who's the front of house at the venue in AC and who's been a big supporter, he was asked by the talent by like who should we put on for like a support band for them, and he immediately said Goalkeeper. So not only did
that's
we get
cool.
the show, but we got to be direct support. And then the show got canceled because it was supposed to be March of 2020, but thank you Bowling for Soup, and I will say this 1,000 times over, they kept their word and still did the shows. They didn't just cancel and refund tickets. So we got to play with them in September for the makeup date. We stayed direct support, and it sold out. And when we played, it was like huge. And we didn't have to pre-sale tickets. We didn't have to buy on. We didn't have to win a competition. It was just someone who supports us. One of our best friends, David Earl. Shout out to him. He was at the Brad Boozle show. Then from there, the talent buyer for an awesome, very big festival in New Jersey came up to us afterwards and was blown away. And just last week, he called us and said, "Hey, I've got this spot on my fest. It's yours because of how incredible you guys were as a band and how
that's amazing
awesome your music is." So I can't announce it because it's coming out in a couple of days and we still don't know the official announcement date. But that was like a huge milestone. It was our first time being offered a position for like a show, but not because, oh, we're going to add Goalkeeper as a local to this Philly show because we know they'll bring 100 kids and that'll help us sell it out.
Gotcha.
Or, oh, pre-sale tickets to get on this or win some sort of competition or anything like that. It was strictly just, I saw you guys play. You were incredible. Here's this amazing opportunity. And we're like, hell yeah.
That's awesome, man. So I'm going to piggyback on that, what you were saying about Bowling for Soup. You guys have also opened up for one of my personal favorite bands, Can't Swim. You opened up for the Starting Line, State Champs, and more. Is there a piece of advice that one of these bigger bands have given you that has stuck with you to today?
Yeah. So the State Champs Starting Line show, that was that festival we played in the summer of 2017. So it was like our first year as a band. That was a show that we played the worst ever.
Oh no.
Just the people watching us hit the lights, sleep on it, bearings, State Champs, everyone watching us on the little stage be awful. Just absolute, like you would have thought the owner of the festival was putting on the local band because we were related to him, and it was like, oh, his cousin's band. Like it was so humiliating, humiliating. And after that, that's when in my head I was like, I'm quitting the band. Like I'm done. Like that, or we're just not gonna take any serious offer. Period. Because if this is how we're gonna play, I'm not gonna go up on stage and humiliate myself.
Gotcha.
And it wasn't like I played well and Cody and Ryan didn't. It was just we just weren't a good band yet. And that was like watching those videos and hearing our friends who were thankfully very honest with their criticisms, like in a respectful way, tell it. But after the show, Kevin Mahoney of Hit the Lights, the guitar player. He walked up to us and said, "Hey, Goalkeeper, I know your song Pong Partners. It's rad." That was a monstrosity of a set.
Oh, oh man,
But-
I bet your heart just fell to the floor on that.
Yeah. And we're like, thanks, dude. You're one of our heroes. And he's like, but I love your band. You guys have a lot of promise. You just have to like work to continuously get better, but you will get there if you don't stop. And then we're like, oh, okay. And we did. And he ended up going on to produce the next 3 releases.
So you said it, just to back up, that was a point, like a crossroads for you personally, where
Mhm.
you kind of contemplated stopping. Was it his words that kept you going, or what was it that really just made you push through it?
It was his words.
It was his
yeah.
words?
Yeah.
Gotcha.
And it wasn't like, oh, I hate music. It was more of like, I'm just not going to be in a band that wants to take it seriously, because if this is what the band's going to play, like the show opportunities and stuff, it's just, I don't want to go up there and humiliate myself.
I got you.
I'd rather just play a basement show where everyone's too drunk to care. I still like doing that more so, but yeah, but when he said that, that was when it made me realize, like, okay, let's just sit down as a band and like talk this out. And that's when we 3 all agreed, like, yeah, no, we gotta change what we're doing here.
Gotcha.
So, and that led to us actually working with him, and he's been one of our biggest supporters ever since.
That's a great story. I know the majority of my viewers are in bands, so I think it's pretty cool for them to hear that, and to hear that if you just keep going, good things can pay off. So
Yeah,
that's
for
awesome.
sure.
I'm going to get back in to your music. I'm going to play another video. This time I'm going to play Nothing at All. What can you tell us about that song and video?
That's about Cody's cat.
Really?
Well, his cat recently just passed away, so rest in peace.
Aw.
But he has a cat. He had a cat named Bobo who was cross-eyed, and he wrote this very him and Ryan wrote this very jammy, inspirational song. And so when you hear the lines in the first verse, I've been living like I'm cross-eyed, like I'm tongue-tied.
Gotcha.
His cross-eyed cat. That was our first co-write too. We actually wrote that with Kevin.
Oh, cool.
And we had most of it together. He just helped us put a lot of the finishing touches on it. And I think that was the song that really started to show us how to construct the song.
Gotcha.
On a consistent basis, not have one per EP. That's good structure.
Gotcha. All right, so for those folks at home, here is the video for Nothing at All by Goalkeeper.
I've been living like I'm cross-eyed, like I'm tongue-tied, like I'm trapped inside for days, living in a haze. I need to focus on myself, I need everybody else to understand. I'm doing the best I can. There's only one way I do this wrong, and that's to do nothing at all. Nothing at all. Nothing at all. If I fall down, I'll get up again, I'll make mistakes, but I'll owe nothing then. If I let go, then I'll be free, nothing stopping me. I gotta feel it's real this time. I hate watching time tick by, counting all the ceiling tiles 100 times. I know the way now, I won't go back. There's no stopping me, nothing at all. Nothing at all. Nothing at all. If I fall down, I'll get up again, I'll make mistakes, but I'll owe nothing then. If I let go, then I'll be free, nothing stopping me. Nothing at all. If I fall down, I'll get up again, I'll make
Welcome back to the show, everyone. I want to switch gears and talk a little more about the newest EP, Life in Slow Motion. One thing that stood out to me when listening to that was it had a different sound than the previous two, and it was more mature, it was more polished, and in fact, I read an interview where Cody was talking about the making of that EP, and he said this: when making this, I felt like everyone was on the same page. In your opinion, what made that EP so special and so different? Like, why does that one sound so mature and elevated over the other ones, in your opinion?
I think that was the first time that we attempted to talk about the other side of our personalities. Like I was saying earlier, we're such like a positive pop punk band. So even like Bad Times Don't Last, like a lot of the songs are positive, very happy, like you want to kind of dance. But this was the first time that, especially this was Ryan really came in and wrote a lot for this record. And he really allowed himself to be vulnerable and talk about like the internal struggles he was having. You know, so
Gotcha.
songs like This Is Fine, which is a very heavy, dark, like lyrical song, and even Graveyard having, you know, the positive side of it of like, you know, getting yourself out of the rut. There was still like a very like recognition of the dark, like you are just keeping yourself turning in this shit type deal. So I think that was the first time, I know I said this, but Ryan and Cody really worked on saying like, how can we express the other side of Goalkeeper? Like we aren't just these bubbly, happy people all the time. Like we have struggles too.
Sure.
And I think, you know, we knew that if we wanted to develop as a band, we can't be afraid to talk about that stuff, especially when you're getting into like the full length territory. Like no one wants to hear a record that's just 10 songs of just happiness all the time, especially when you
Sure.
might not be feeling it, because that's how you come across disingenuine.
The first song I'm going to play off this EP is called Just Say It. What can you tell us about that song and video?
So Cody wrote that song. He brought, I mean, again, he brought the idea in. A lot of the lyrics were figured out, a lot of the melody, and then me and Ryan really worked on the music side of it, finding the right chords, the right leads. That song was an example of when because we still write in a very traditional way. So for those who are like in music now, you often see a lot of bands just kind of at band practice, like sitting in front of a computer, like demoing out their songs.
Gotcha.
We very much go to a practice space, plug in our amps, and just like play a riff over and over again until we figure out like the next step. It also helps us translate those songs live better. But for that song, Cody brought in like talking about like a breakup that he was going through and really trying to be vulnerable, talking about that. Those were one of the songs that we wrote in like 30 minutes.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, so when we got to the bridge, we didn't have anything for the bridge. So we stopped and we said, okay, let's all just play whatever we think we want to play. And then we'll just pick what sounds the coolest and we'll just build it off of there. So everyone just write whatever the hell you want to write. And then even if it sounds like hot garbage, we'll just pick the best one. The bridge you hear, it was doubled, but that's exactly what we played without even talking about it.
Oh, that's cool.
Like everything. Ryan's like the bass, the doon, 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 like all the stops, like my guitar lead, like everything was exactly, we didn't change anything. The only thing we changed in the studio, like I said, is we cut it in half because it was too long. That we just played it twice before the lyrics came in. And when we did that, we all looked at each other. We're like, that was rad. I guess that's what we'll play if we all thought to play exactly that without talking about it. So
that's cool that it all came together so well then.
That's my favorite, and that's my that's one of my favorite songs on the EP. And the music video was a lot of fun to make. We really wanted to kind of have that goofy multi cameras editing coming in and out, trying to make basically walked in and said, yo, let's do the Brady Bunch.
That's so funny because in my head I was like, man, this is like the Brady Bunch with the little squares.
Yeah, Brady Bunch was a big inspiration, and we just wanted to throw pies at each other and eat bananas seductively because that's always cool.
Nice. All right, man. So for those at home, here's the video for Just Say It by Goalkeeper.
What's it been like over a week now? Let's you and me sit down, sort all the shit out. I don't even know what we're fighting about. You hold on and leave us hung up in a rain cloud. My mind's on the fritz now. You're all in a fit now. I can't figure out how I feel about it. You're calling what you wanted. Just say it to be perfectly honest. You hate it when it's time to face it. Taking back the time we wasted. Just say it. Just say it. Just say it. Just say
All right, welcome back to the show. I want to talk about the future for a little bit. On February 20th of this month, you guys are doing a show. What else do you have coming up that your fans can look forward to?
So our record is done. Well, I shouldn't say done. It's recorded. It's getting mixed right now. Our first full length. So we're super excited.
Oh, that's awesome. Is that going to be released in 2022?
Yep. Let's go. The
Very
goal
cool.
is probably end of summer, early fall.
Oh, right on.
Yep. And a heck of a lot of touring, for this year. We've got so we have the 20th, which we're from an area, like we're all from different parts, but where I live is a place called Delaware County.
Now you're in
and
Jersey though, right?
I'm not in Jersey.
Oh, okay.
No. Yeah. The three of us, Ryan and Cody, live in Jersey.
Okay.
I live right outside South Philadelphia.
Gotcha.
And so most of our fans are in Philly anyway, which is why we just say we're a Philadelphia band. Also, trick, and for bands who are the people who are in bands, if you're close enough to a big city, say that's where you're from, because talent buyers will automatically overlook you if you're from a town they don't recognize. You could literally be in Collingswood, New Jersey, which is 15 minutes from all the venues in Philadelphia, but because you say you're in New Jersey, most people won't book you because they think people won't come across the bridge.
Oh,
Or
wow.
they don't know where it's at. So if you say you're from Philly, and most of our fans are in Philly anyway, so it's easy. But so we're doing, it's coming out, and then
Where's the show on the 20th?
it's called the Tumble in Delaware County. Our buddy Chris, who's a huge supporter of the band, he hosts like a birthday show every year, and it's just one of those really fun. All like the local friends, and it's bands get together, drink, and play punk rock for a night.
Gotcha.
So every year he asks us to play, we try to play it unless we're on tour or something. But we're working on a 2-week tour in April right now, where we're going to go from Orlando through Milwaukee.
Cool.
And then we've got a weekender in we have a weekender in March that we're announcing next week with What Makes Sense. We're going to go up to the Northeast for that one. And then another weekender in May, the big show that I said earlier we can't announce just yet. That's going to be in the early summer. And we are working on a 2-week run with Calling All Captains in the fall, and then in the summertime.
Nice.
I mean, so
a lot of great stuff for your fans to look forward to.
Yeah, just the rest of the year is the same thing. Just we're going to be going to a lot of places we haven't gone to before. Like we're going to hit Texas in the fall, Midwest several times. So we're just really excited that we're at the point as a band where we can guarantee that, okay, these cities in this like tri-state area, we know will go, people will come out, they'll buy merch. So then we can use that to fund going further away that we've never gone before.
Gotcha.
Yep. Yeah. So that's what new music and a whole lot of touring.
Right on. I'm going to end with playing one more video. This video that I want to play is Happy. What can you tell us about that song and video?
Yeah, so that we co-wrote that with Kevin. Again, we were trying to figure out the last song for the EP because we had all these ideas, but we just didn't have that fifth song. So he sent us that, and he's like, "Hey, I was gonna use this for Hit the Lights, but it doesn't make sense for Hit the Lights. Plus, we're not really recording anymore. What do you guys think of it?" And we're like, "Oh yeah, this is cool. Like this is like very much a Goalkeeper like style song," which is why he showed it to us too, because he knew that.
Nice.
And Ryan and Cody wrote the lyrics. They wrote the chorus super quickly, and then got to lay it down. And that was one of those times when that was a song that we knew, like, okay, like this is gonna be popular. Like
Gotcha.
we just had everything that you wanted, like the quiet intro into the monstrous instrumental part to like a really cool like slim like verses into like big choruses again. It's very hard to play. He was a lot of off time and stuff. But yeah, I mean that was the second time we co-wrote with Kevin, and that's where I feel like we started to get into a groove with him of like, okay, now we know how to work together when we're creating an album or
Gotcha.
music.
Very cool. All right, for those at home, here's the video for Happy by Goalkeeper.
We're getting stuck in the same old story. We know the end and it's getting boring. I won't let this end badly. I just want you to be happy. Tell me how we went from feeling only happiness to feeling like there's nothing left. I can't read you, but what's new? You disconnect everything from your heart to head. Gotta feel this is permanent. Thought this through kills me too. We're getting stuck in the same old story. We know the end and it's getting boring. I won't let this end badly. I just want you to be happy. Take a breath. This is for the best. It's unfortunate. I need you, but it's true. Let's face the facts and can't relax. Gave ourselves a heart attack. It's a shame we can't go back. Found ourselves in what we lacked. We're getting stuck in the same old story. We know the end and it's getting boring. I won't let this end badly. I just want you to be happy. Hold on to what we've been through. I won't make this about me. I just want you to be happy. Remember all the times we had. Moving on, we can't turn back. Let this go and fade to black. Found ourselves in what we lacked. Remember all the times we had. Moving on, we can't turn back. Let this go and fade to black. Found ourselves in what we lacked. We're getting stuck in the same old story. We know the end and it's getting boring. I won't let this end badly. I just want you to be happy. Hold on to what we've been through. I won't make this about me. I just want you to be happy. I won't let this end badly. I just want you to be happy.
All right, welcome back to the show, everyone. So I like to end my shows by asking the bands just the same question. What would you like to say to your fans?
Just a big fucking thank you, honestly. And this is gonna sound lame, but we try to look at it more as like friends at this point because so many people come out religiously. Even like when we were playing Baltimore on Friday, there were people who drove 4 hours to come see us, and they're like, "Yeah, I mean, we're
Oh,
not gonna miss a chance to hang out with you guys."
that's awesome.
So, and they're the ones who, like I was saying earlier, like bands you're constantly going to go through rejection and denial like all the time from people, whether it's a jealousy thing or whether it's just someone doesn't think you're good enough yet or whatever. So every time like we get denied or rejected for something, but then we go to a show and we have people who are like, "Yo, like I made my night based around coming to see you play,"
That's cool.
or "I dedicated $20 of my paycheck to buy like your t-shirt." It's just, or "I got your artwork tattooed on my leg because it meant so much to me after I saw you guys play." It's just insane. And anytime we go through our self-pity, woe is me, are we ever gonna make it, like they're literally the reason we like, no, we have people who love us and we need to just grow the hell up and stop crying about it. So just a big fucking thank you.
Very cool, man. Well, thank you so much. For those at home, I'm going to have a link down below so you can follow Goalkeeper on all their socials. And Mark, I appreciate it, man. Thanks so much for coming on the show.
Thanks, man.